Earnest efforts continue to get Barbados back on track this Monday, July 5th. Good morning and welcome to your Barbados Today Morning News Update. It is expected to be another day of cleanup and damage assessments across the island, even as businesses and key government agencies reopen following the passage of Hurricane Elsa last Friday. Elsa, the first hurricane to hit the island in over 65 years, left a trail of destruction. For some affected residents, the process is just getting started, and they suggest much work lies ahead.
I stay right at me in the garage. Well, I got 30 animals here. Sheep and goat. So, I think I ain't got nowhere to go. I got a son in St. John, Easy Hall, right? And I got a sister in St. Barbados. So they tell me to come by them. So I can't do that. I can't afford it.
Bathroom, and I saw the bathroom roof begin to shake and lift. So there were some guys who come around who said they would put two blocks on top of it to keep it down. But within that, the whole roof came off, and then the front, the living room, the dining room start flying. So there was a gentleman there, so he had to come and grab me to get out the house, right? And then the house began to shake. It was a horrible experience.
Part of the roof was gone. So my daughter and I come back down here to see if we could salvage. Right? But while we get taken the television, and once taken the television, the other part of the roof went.
This roof now on the chicken pen now, you see it start to flap. The rain get a little higher, it start flapping more. As the rain get higher, it flap more. But just went up and down. Then I saw then for part of the pendant a galvanized loose, like if in case that something had just release a button and it go through the air.
Teams from the National Housing Corporation and the Urban and Rural Development Commissions will get down to talks of repairing and rebuilding homes destroyed or damaged by Hurricane Elsa. Housing Minister Dr. William Duguid admits it is a mammoth task.
With respect to the National Housing Corporation, we'll be doing the houses that are wall and wood, masonry and carpentry together. And those obviously will need a little more engineering works, and those will be the ones that the National Housing Corporation will tend to. More importantly, Prime Minister, as well, when we rebuild these houses, we'll be very specific and focusing on using roof straps and strapping the house to the foundation as well. Because I think a lot of the houses that we are seeing problems with over this last problem, both with the freak storm and with the hurricane that has just passed, is a lot of houses did not have hurricane straps, or those that may have had some type of hurricane strap did not also have the strapping from the foundation onto the house itself. So we're also going to be embarking on a program and monitoring and assessing as we rebuild these houses that they have the appropriate hurricane straps and hurricane structures.
There's no mistaking the challenge ahead, and in the words of Prime Minister Mia Mottley, it's a challenge of a generation. She, however, expressed confidence at the weekend press conference that Barbados will rise to the challenge, having weathered several events over the last 18 months.
We have had the worst pandemic that the world has seen in 102 years. We've had the worst ashfall that this country has seen in 119 years. And we've had the first and worst hurricane in 66 years. We're doing all of this against a decade of implosion economically, which led to our having to undergo debt restructuring and enter an IMF program. It is the challenge of a generation. It is the challenge that this nation must embrace if we are to build forward for our children and grandchildren a better and stronger nation than that which we inherited.
In other news this Monday, crews from the island's two main utilities are expected to be back on the job to restore power and water for a number of communities across the island. In its latest update, the Barbados Light and Power reported that 70% of its customers have been restored and work will continue today. Meanwhile, the Barbados Water Authority said the production capacities at its facilities is at 94% and water is gradually returning to customers. However, they noted there are still pockets in the authorities' distribution systems that are still to be fully charged. These include some sections of St. Lucie, St. Thomas, St. John, St. Joseph, and Christchurch. Most of the areas still not receiving a pipeborne supply are at higher elevations. The tourism minister appeals to travelers to and from the island to exercise some patience as the Grantley Adams International Airport resumes normal operations. Gaia reopened on Sunday after being closed for 3 days, and it was a busy day with more than 15 flights from major airlines. Senator Lisa Cummings acknowledged there were some delays, citing some electronic and online processes that are not functional because some areas of the airport are still without power. She urged passengers to work with airport staff and health officials.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, reports of widespread flooding across sections of Jamaica as Tropical Storm Elsa brushed the island on Sunday. While in the Dominican Republic, 2 people died as Cuba braces for the passage of the storm.
2 people in the Dominican Republic were killed on Saturday when a wall collapsed due to heavy winds brought on by Tropical Storm Elsa, according to officials. Meanwhile, the storm pounded Jamaica with heavy rain, flooding parts of the Caribbean island nation. Elsa was downgraded from a hurricane on Saturday, after the U.S. National Hurricane Center said maximum sustained winds were near 60 miles per hour. Cuba should expect 5 to 10 inches of rain, and up to 15 inches in isolated areas with storm surges of 3 to 5 feet. The National Hurricane Center said Elsa was forecast to move across central and western Cuba by Monday and head toward the Florida Straits. The approaching storm has forced Florida officials to begin work to demolish the remaining portions of a condo building that collapsed about 10 days ago, and search and rescue efforts for the 121 people still missing have been suspended.
Further afield, 4 people were found dead as a huge fire raged on for a second day in Cyprus, raising tracts of forest in a blaze one official called the worst on record. More in this report from Reuters TV.
Tracts of forest have been razed to the ground and dozens of homes gutted. The blaze, fanned by strong winds, affected at least 10 communities in the foothills of the Troodos mountain range. It's a pine forest with densely vegetated shrubland that covers at least 19 square miles. Cypriot's president, Nikos Anastasiades, called it one of the most destructive fires we have experienced, adding that the state would stand by all those affected. The victims were found dead close to Odu, a mountainous community north of the cities of Limassol and Larnaca. Witnesses say they were found a short distance from a vehicle that appeared to have crashed. Egypt's foreign ministry said it had been informed by Cypriot authorities that the victims were Egyptian. Nations, including Greece, Italy and Israel, have offered their assistance in fighting the blaze. The cause of the fire, which started around midday on Saturday, remains unclear, though police said they were questioning a 67-year-old person in connection with the blaze. Cyprus experiences hot summer months, with temperatures in recent days exceeding 104 Fahrenheit.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3